Very nice to good evening, everyone. I know we have people right from East Coast to West Coast. It's 9:30, East Coast to 6:30. Some of you might be getting back home from your work. Nice to see, and we have more people joining in. And on the first note, wanted to kind of congratulate everyone as we have kicked off our Surya Namaskar Yagna. And it was very, very encouraging, energizing to see people doing Surya Namaskar in snow, in rain or shine. We do it, and it's really nice to see it, and it is energized across. So, with that gave me a thought in Sangha coming together is so important. And Surya Namaskar Yagna is one such occasion where we are coming together, health for humanity. And that's the beauty of Surya Namaskar Yagna, and which we experienced over the last couple of days. Now, that made me think as a family, Sangh itself is a family, but as an individual family, when was the last time we sat together as a family and listened to something that is relevant for the entire family? Possibly, we might have watched a movie together. We might have watched a web series together, which is good. Definitely good way to exchange things. But how about having had a pleasant conversation related to good health that needs to be prioritized as a family and how yoga can be a great tool, Brahmastra in this entire mission. Sharira Madhyam Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. In our mission, where we want to really practice dharma in everyday life, this human body, mind is so vital, and yoga is a great tool. With that, I would encourage people who are there, get your family. The next 1 hour is going to be very interesting. We have somebody who's going to talk about how yoga is a unifying aspect as a family. So take a moment. If you have your husband or spouse or your kids, get them along. If you are on a mobile, try to see if you can switch on to a laptop or a TV and join on to this Zoom so that this can be a very good. We're going to have an interactive session later on as well. So the topic for today, as most of you are aware, is Yoga Unites the Family. And when we speak about all this, we thought it would be great to have somebody who is also associated for Sangh for the last 30 years. And with that, I would like to invite and also do a parichay of Ashwini ji, Ashwini Surpur. Ashwini Surpur is Mulataha in Bharat from Bhagalkot in Karnataka. She currently resides in San Jose, California. Did her bachelor's in computer science, has also done her master's in Sanskritam. Currently, Ashwini ji is the executive director of Yoga Bharati. As most of you are aware, Yoga Bharati is a non-profit organization with a vision of enhancing health, happiness, knowledge, and peace in life through a holistic approach to yoga. She is a senior yoga therapist and a teacher with 15 years of experience as software engineer at Oracle. She realized her mission is to take yoga further, and she transitioned into doing full-time volunteering at Yoga Bharati in 2010. She specializes in yoga therapy, particularly for cancer and terminally ill patients. And her interest is also Hindu philosophy, and she contributes articles in various publications, passionate about literature, philosophy, and Sanskritam is something that's very close to her heart, and she enjoys writing poems and articles in her free time. And one more thing that's very relevant when we speak about family, she loves conversing with teenagers and kids. Uh, She's been with Sangh for over 30 years. She has done her SSV as well as been a Shikshika in SSV, Sangha Shiksha Varg in the past. And in her prior Sangha Daitva, she has been uh, Karyavahika for the Ardenwood Shaka. Currently, she lives with her husband, Anilji Surpur, and two sons, Chetan and Chinmay. Chetan is married and she also has a grandson. With that introduction, I will hand it over to Ashwini ji. So we will be having, just to kind of give you what's going to happen in the next hour, we're going to have some interesting talk, a little bit of practice, and we'll open it up for interaction, Q&A on what we are going to talk to. Over to you, Ashwini ji.
Namaste. Sorry, I have a cold, so you will see my voice is a little different, but we will definitely not let that interrupt our wonderful evening here. Thank you all for trusting that I will give you something. I hope to. So as a family, you are all here. That makes it even wonderful. So I'm just going to share the screen here. Hope you can see the slides. I'm going to start the slideshow. Yeah, okay. I hope
We
you
can
can.
see it, Ashwini.
Sorry, this is not what I ended up. Sorry. Hold on. View slideshow. Okay, hope you can see this. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me well.
Yes, Ashwini ji.
Okay,
Yes, we
thank.
can.
Okay, so we will I'll make sure not to make it boring because the whole family is here, young to old, and we want to involve everybody here. So now, first of all, what is the definition of yoga? The very definition of yoga is that which unites. Yujyate anena iti yoga. Yoga. So yoga is that which unites. What does it unite? What does it not unite? Is the question here. It unites the lower self with the higher self. It unites all of us here. There is unity in diversity. It provides a vision to see unity in everything. So you see two things. You see a wall here. You all have wall. You see the wall, especially in the evenings, and there is a dot on the wall. But so do you want to see the dot on the wall, which is a very little dot, but the whole canvas is the one, that the whole canvas of wall, right, where there is paint, the wall is painted on, that is a little dot. But we generally focus on those little dots, on those little defects, on the little differences we all have between each other. But when you see the overarching unity that underlies this little dot that you see, the little defects that you see, little differences that you see, then that vision itself is yoga. That having that vision, developing that vision itself is yoga. So I'm here, my husband is here, my son is here, my other son is here. No one is like any other. We are all exclusive pieces made by God. Not a single piece is like any other piece, even the most identical twins. And yet there is something very, very unique, or one underlying canvas that we all have, and focusing on that underlying canvas is what makes us yogis. So let us see what all is there in that. So the topic that we are going to, although that's the overarching topic, we look at different little subjects here. How is yoga multifaceted? So if you say yoga is stretching, yoga is Surya Namaskars, it's much more. And we see how multifaceted yoga is, and it covers pretty much the entire spectrum of our thinking, and how you can see unity in different stages of life when you have the vision of yoga. And then let us also, as Swayam Sevaks and Sevikas, let us see how yoga, why Seva, why Shakha, why of that also to some extent, how that becomes yoga as well. So Seva, is Seva different from yoga? Is HSS different from practicing yoga? Let us see that. Okay, you all probably know this, but I'm just going to breeze through this topic, which is going to be Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali. There are 8 limbs, not 8 steps, 8 limbs. That means you have to practice all 8. You cannot say this limb is more important, that limb is less important. No, you practice all of them. So what are those? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. For youngsters here, Yama and Niyama are ethics. Whether they are ethics while we are conversing with the outside world, or ethics for my own personal conduct. In both cases, they are ethics. Yama niyama. Asana pranayama, they are practices. One is for the physical body, the other is for the inner energy body. Okay, and then pratyahara is something that we do to now start withdrawing from the outside world. So far we only look at the body, we look at how I look in the crowd, how I behave in the crowd, all of that. Now the journey begins inward, not because somebody forces us to go inward, no, because you will start seeing the beauty that is within you. So you have friends outside. I mean, especially youngsters, you like to make friends outside, isn't it? Up to a certain point, that is fun. After a while, you will say, the same old thing that I do with my friends, it starts getting boring. What else can I do? Like when you're playing a video game, you will say after a while, you'll say, how many levels? Oh, I've crossed all the levels. Will you keep playing that? No, you will say, I'm done with this video game. Likewise, the outside world plateaus. Srivatsaji, if something, you can always text me if my internet, if there is any issue with that, okay? I'm just
Sure.
going to have it next to me here, and I will hopefully, yeah, keep it on a ring here as well. So, that is pratyahara means outgrowing, outgrowing the outside world, which is really speaking just a little speck. The inside world is so much more beautiful. The friend within you is so much more fun than those friends outside. You will start seeing that. That doesn't mean you should not have friends. That doesn't mean you should not enrich yourself from outside. But and as long as you get in touch with your own inner friend, the outer friends will also enrich you. But if your inner friend is, you're not keeping in touch with your inner friend, I like to use the word inner Krishna, who is your friend. That friend will be with you forever. Number one, that friend will not say, oh, I have to now go home. That friend is within you. So that friend, that inner friend, is going to be your the pratyahara, where you start going towards that inner friend. So all the external friends and the communications and your, the joy that you get outside will actually double when you start going within. That is pratyahara. Then comes the three limbs, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. So those are basically the meditation aspect of yoga, wherein you use certain techniques. Like dharana is a focus technique. You take an object and you focus on that object. So that is dharana. When that focus becomes, natural, and then it starts widening, when the whole it starts diffusing. Focus is very effortful, isn't it? When you want to focus on a point, it's very effortful. The dancer, for example, in the beginning wants to focus and practice her dance, practice, and at one point she says, I know this, I'm just going to dance. Dance happens, she's not dancing. Sorry. So that aspect is dhyana, when it becomes natural to you. And the last part is samadhi, where you are not even there. The act is happening and you are absorbed in that. Like in your video games, again, children, when you play, at one point you're not hungry, you're not thirsty, your parents are calling, everything, but you're completely absorbed. That is basically samadhi. So now going into different aspects of yoga, apart from the Raj Yoga, what I just talked about is Raj Yoga, the disciplining of the mind. Whereas there are other aspects. Do I always sit down and discipline my mind? That I do 1 hour a day, maybe, but not beyond that. So now rest of the hours, what do I do? I'm not in yoga. No, I am in yoga, like karma yoga. Throughout the day, there is always activity that happens. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karmakrit. That means every moment I am practicing yoga, karma yoga. When my attitude towards that action is positive, I have to wash my dishes, children, especially again. Somebody forces you to wash your dishes, let's assume, but you take it as, well, I have to do this anyway, let me enjoy. When you do that, then karma yoga happens. When you are taking it as a burden, then it is karma, not karma yoga. So then comes dhyana yoga. This is where you turn every situation into positive situation, even the most negative. How? By not doing anything, by thinking, by contemplating, by reflecting, and by seeing what is the silver line in that dark cloud. Because every dark cloud eventually will have a silver line if you have positive attitude towards it. So that is Jnana Yoga, contemplation. How do you contemplate? By first learning from somebody. It's called Shravana, listening. And then comes the Manana, repeatedly thinking about it. And then comes Nididhyasana, bringing it to action. So these three continuously make it Jnana Yoga. I was fine until now. I didn't know talking would do this. Next comes the Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of devotion, where you multiple aspects: surrender, acceptance, and unconditional love. Not sure how much I can continue. Let us see. So these three make it bhakti. How many of you think bhakti is just going to temple? Many of you do. And you fight it also. You say, why should I go? I don't know. Anything you do with devotion. And when you want to bring it devotion, you bring devotion to something very big. If I want to devote to my wife or to my child, there can be flaws, there can be mistakes, there can be defects. We all may have weaknesses. How will you have devotion? But when you take, say, Bhagavad Dwaj, that which stands for only sacrifice, Tyaga, Seva, Vrata. When you do that, then there is no question of feeling dejected at any point, right? So that is Bhakti Yoga. Finally, Raj Yoga, which you saw already. Now, let's go to different stages of life. What are the different stages? I'm sure if you are attending as a family, there is somebody who is in brahmacharya, that is, you are not married, you are a student. There is somebody who is a grahastha, who is running the house, okay, householder. Then there is somebody who is now middle-aged, your parents, whatever, right? And then there is somebody who is much older than that, your grandparents, yeah? So now, how yoga applies to all these stages? What are the types of yoga? We already discussed Raj Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. As children, what all do you need to do? Bhakti, very important, and Karma, these two. Raj Yoga is, maybe Surya Namaskar is fine, some little bit of yoga is fine, but mostly Bhakti and Karma. What is Bhakti? Devotion, daily going to that altar of God and doing some diya, something little, but that has to be there as part of your life. And Karma Yoga, seeing every action as positive. I have this much homework today. Yeah, but let me do it joyfully. Let me learn for learning's sake, not for grade's sake. That is Karma Yoga. And then comes Grihastha. Here you are working for 3 runas. What are they? Runa means debt. Now, as a child, I have been brought up by my parents. That's a debt every single day you carry. And then, first of all, you are created. You have been given this house, the place to live, the place to eat, all of this by who? Nature, God, however you want to say, Devaruna. Then Rishi Runa, you got this education. All these 3 are the debts. When you cannot just keep on carrying debt, we have to pay back. So how do we pay? By taking care of the progeny, by taking care of the next generation, by taking care of the family. Or how do you do all of that? By, first of all, being strong. You need to have good mental capacity, Raj Yoga. You need to work hard, Karma Yoga. You need to, of course, have acceptance, devotion, positivity, love, unconditional love, Karma Yoga. These 3 streams for Grihastha. Vanaprastha, what are the streams of yoga that one needs to learn in this stage, where you may have grown up children by now, and you now need to learn to let go while still working in the seva manner. Now is the time for more seva, not less seva. Oh, I'm done, I'm retired, I'm getting towards retirement. Let me see how much I can enjoy vacation, this, that. This is how people look at it. But your runas are not done yet. You still have a lot, especially these days, even more. Why? Because there is so much that the human race has done to spoil this entire climate. So maybe just that grihastha is not enough. And our forefathers have lived along with the whole joint family and community. Now we have sought individual cellular life here, and for our own comforts. Now we have to pay more. We need to pay back more because they were living a scalable life with less resources for every single person, one big home. No, they did not live like that. So they had carried less debt. We carry more debt. So as vanaprastha also, we still have debt to return. So Karma Yoga, Raj Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, and now add Jnana Yoga, your contemplation. Now you have to move towards Jnana. Aru Rukshor Muner Yogam Karma Karana Uchyate. Yogarudasya Tasya Shamak Karana Uchyate. That means what? Aru Rukshuhu. If I am wanting to climb the ladder of yoga, I need to use Karma Yoga. And then as I grow, Shamak Karana Uchyate, Jnana Yoga. I need to practice that. And then comes sannyasa. As we grow older and older, we need to develop deep contemplative stage. And we have to, number one, at this stage already you should have mastered the art of letting go. You should become a child again. Maybe somebody's taking care of you, to some extent at least. However they take care of you, be okay with that. However the body treats you, be okay with that. That is the stage we all need to go towards, and that should start at vanaprastha. So Raj Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga here. In fact, more than now Karma Yogas. Anyway, we will be reducing our Karma Yoga, but never completely let go of Karma Yoga. We will see that later. Okay. Now coming to different stages of life. Now as parents, how do we do this? And as children, how do we do that? Parents of younger children or even children, practice your rituals and traditions for parents and also children. This is the Bhakti Yoga part, and learn their meanings. Why we do what we do. Learn that. And not in a forced manner. Yeah, many a times you will have questions. Why should I do this? Why should I do this? Know the meaning, but sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. What does that mean? We say, go and every day light diya. And you cannot say what happens. I lighted diya yesterday, today, and day after. I lighted for 1 year, nothing has happened. That's not the question you have to ask. Sometimes you have to just keep doing it, and transformation happens over years. Okay? So that's why you need to do it anyway. But as parents, to some extent we have to force, but not make it a very big deal, because if we just use the negative reinforcement, that won't work. Let's make it positive somehow, make it fun, make it yours. Like maybe the lighter is yours, or whatever one thing is yours, one thing is mine, and we'll all do some diya in the evening and some aarti in the evening. And then connect everything to spirituality. That means know the higher meaning of everything. Don't just do it for just blind sake. Then things will happen. Be positive about it. Okay? Pre-teen and teen. Practice your rituals. Invite your children anyway. Doesn't matter how. Be patient. Every day, rain or shine, I am going to invite anyway. And of course, some explanations, some things, but your own commitment to your practice, your Hindu practice, Hindu dharma, has to only increase, not decrease. So do it for yourself sincerely. I think somebody needs to be muting others. Okay, so be patient and let go after explaining in some cases. Yeah, and then the last one, the next one will be use the carrot and stick. Some boundaries cannot be transgressed, period. This is the square, this is the perimeter within which we operate. Teen, no, doesn't matter. This is how it is. Sometimes those rules have to be laid out too for your children. And teens, understand that from your parents. You are being fed, you are being taken care of. There are certain rules every family has. That goes. Okay, it goes without saying, as they say. Be confident, parents, be confident. Children are going to test your patience. And children, you also have to be confident. Yes, my parents know what they are talking about, and I will explain this to my friends also, why I am the way I am. So firm and gentle works. Next is, spirituality is not just rituals. Sometimes, if rituals don't go far enough, there is something called shared spirituality. What is that? Going to Shaka is a shared spirituality. What is that? Because the child goes, the parent goes, they come back home, they talk about what happened. That's a shared ideals. And there is a book, Spiritual Child, by Dr. Lisa Miller, and she writes, shared spirituality between a parent and a child offers 80% protection against anxiety and depression in teens and later when they are going to become adults. And a shared spirituality between parent, grandparent, and a child provides 90% protection against anxiety and depression, if there is one to occur. See, think about how much protection it offers. So if you thought going to Shaka is just one simple, my parents force, so I just go there. What did I learn? Nothing. No, you are learning a lot. A lot is happening in the process. You just don't know. It's not, there is no quick gratification for it. That's why. Okay. There is something called prayas and shreyas. Prayas is a quick, you get quick, like eat a candy, it's a prayas, immediate joy. But going to Shaka is shreyas. It's a long-term joy that you are going to get. Okay. So now for the parents, some values start changing. They have their own value system, their own music, their own friends, their own ways of talking, their own ways of behaving, not necessarily fully acceptable from our point of view. Or now is the time for us to grow and say, we are going to accept it and still work with it. Yeah. And that is when we all need to focus on bigger things. What is that bigger thing? Seva, Shaka, shared spirituality. Like, look at what is in this slide. What are the reasons why one should go to Shaka? What is this shared spirituality? I cannot emphasize this enough. It's a yajna, churning and exchanging of ideas. It's a social time, a way of getting away from usual stuff. It's giving and creating a positive change in the world. Yeah. It is learning and expanding your horizon. You have this much view of the world, whereas when you look at it from social, cultural, spiritual, from the heritage, from the roots point of view, your horizon expands. And then harnessing collective consciousness. You think that consciousness, I am one individual, another is one individual, another. No. As a complete Purusha, bigger Purusha, we are one big collective consciousness as well. So we harness that bigger Purusha. And why do you think every cell is also an individual, isn't it? It functions complete. It's complete by itself. An amoeba is a complete individual organism by itself. Every cell of my body is complete individual organism. And there are so many trillions of organisms living within me. Now, but yet I am one individual. Collectively, I am one individual, isn't it? Similarly, I am collectively one individual when I go and create that bigger, co-create that bigger entity, which is what Shaka offers. And then comes the disciplining of mind and building the team spirit. All of that samatha, simple samatha. It seems like nothing there, but you develop such a concentration. It's almost a meditation if you do samatha properly. Similarly, Sangastan, go with all the devotion. You will see how much your heart opens when you do that. This is my own experience. I'm not talking about anything. If today I'm a leader, I'm a leader because of Shaka. So to be a leader, all these aspects are required. And that's what seva is. That's what being a Swayam Sevaka or Sevika is all about. So that's about being a parent as well, by the way. And as you grow now, adult children, are you an empty nester? No. Don't call yourself empty nester. You are now a vanaprastha, looking within, going within yourself. Vanaprastha, going into the forest, they say. What is that forest? It's within us. And then go towards self-care, more yoga. And then, of course, your children will come back to you with more and more challenges. But of course, they won't listen to you. You only see their challenges. How do I handle that? You cannot. There is nothing you can do about it. But as you go within into the seva aspect, you become so ripe within that they will want to come and listen to you. You don't have to offer anything until they ask, but believe it or not, they will ask you. I'll finish within a few minutes now. And then more and more of seva can be done now because your children are, people usually tend to say, okay, I'll retire. No, please. More and more growth is needed at this stage because you will see more and more challenges, not less. And what is that biggest challenge that you will have? The old order changeth, yielding place to new, and God. See, you don't understand. Kids come, their values are different, everything is different, and you feel like tearing your hair because you come from a certain culture and you see that it's changing so much and you think it is bad. No, nothing is bad. The old order changeth, yielding place to new. And God fulfills himself in many ways. Lest one good custom should corrupt the world. Even as a Hindu, my own practice will not remain the same, but Hinduism will remain, Hindu Dharma will remain with a lot of changes. And that is hard for us to accept. But this quote of Lord Tennyson will give us that even the best of the customs are going to change. And now sannyasa, truly let go. Children have challenges, but that's not your problem. He or she is yet another possibility of life. That's all. It is just life's yet another possibility. Just the way you are life's yet another possibility. There is a unity underneath. And each of these little beings are one possibility. You will start seeing all of this unity. And then you will not feel anything. You will feel tranquil even in spite of all that, that is not in your control. And your health challenges, everything will still not be, it'll only be a dot on the canvas. As I said, it's not the canvas. The canvas itself is one whole and never changes. So now jnana and bhakti finally take up that. So what we all do is balastavat krida saktaha, tarunastavat taruni saktaha, vruddhastavat chinta saktaha, parame brahmani kopina saktaha. What usually we do is, as children, we just have fantasies, we play. As youth, we are interested in relationships and whatnot. And old age, we develop all the health problems and this and that. But let us make life beautiful at all these stages. A good parent brings the child who lives in fantasy as saying life is beautiful, which is fantastic, but bring them to reality once in a while and prepare them for life. And then in Tarunavastha, a spiritual life is to hold on to the values that our parents, our heritage has taught us, and to be optimistic in spite of every challenge that we see. And in the old age, spiritual life is to become a child again. The world is your parent now, and take as it comes. Start the day with wonder, end the day with wonder. That should be our journey. And finally, I'll read out a couple of quotes. And for yesterday is only a dream. Tomorrow is just a vision. But today well lived makes every yesterday a dream of happiness and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Therefore, live well today. They say it's by Kalidasa. I haven't found the original. But more importantly, kurvanneveha karmani jijivishet shatam samaha evam tvai nanyatetosti nakarma lipyate naraha. So basically, what does that mean? Live 100 years. Kurvanneveha karmani, by working, live for 100 years. That alone, that is the only way, no other way. That's the only way where karma will not cling to you. And you will be free. So kayo me patatu prabhu, that is the alternate way of saying the same thing. And Vishwadharma ki jai, that is what I would like to say today, and we can go to the practice.